Despite the names, both species of African rhino have a gray skin color. Rhinos love plants. Rhinos are herbivorous plant eaters and have to eat a lot each day to be full. The name rhinoceros means nose horn. It comes from ancient Greek words, rhino nose, ceros horn. Only elephants are bigger than white rhinos. White rhinos are the second largest land mammal in the world. Rhinos have small brains. A crash of rhinos. A group of rhinos is known as a herd or a crash. Rhinos are speed machines. Running at 30, 40 miles per hour, be sure to move out of their way fast. Rhinos communicate by doing a poo, something a bit whiffy. Rhinos use dung to share information with others nearby. There was once an ancient woolly rhinocerotidae. The Sumatran rhino is its closest living relative. Some rhinos can swim. Greater one-horned rhinos can swim and even dive underwater. Rhino horns are not made of bone, but of keratin, the same material found in your hair and fingernails. Some rhinos use their teeth, not their horns, for defense. Rhino pregnancies last 15-16 months. Rhinos and elephants are not mortal enemies. The white rhino is the lay African rhinos have a symbiotic relationship with oxpeckers, also called tickbirds. In Swahili, the oxpecker is called askari wakafaru, which means the rhino's guard. The oxpecker eats ticks and other insects that it finds on the rhino and creates a commotion when it senses danger. This helps alert the rhino. Indian or greater one-horned rhinos have similar symbiotic relationships with other bird species, including the well-known myna, Argest rhino species, and the largest land mammal after the elephant. Throughout their history, rhinos have been a very diverse group. Humans are the major threat to rhinos, but several other species are also rhino predators. The two species most often reported to prey upon rhinos, usually young ones, are lions in Africa and tigers in Asia. However, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, and Nile crocodiles are also known to kill African rhino calves on occasion. By far, though, people are rhinos' #1 enemy. Most wild rhino calves never meet their fathers. After mating, adult male and female rhinos typically go their separate ways. After the calf is born, it will probably spend a couple of years or more in the company of its mother, and perhaps associate with other females and their calves. But the father rhino is not part of the standard social group. 3 of the 5 surviving rhino species, the black, Javan, and Sumatran, are critically endangered. This means there is at least a 50% chance that these species could become extinct sometime this century. Between 5,000 to 5,400 black rhinos now survive in 9 African countries. The black rhino has a prehensile upper lip that allows it to feed on trees and shrubs. The black rhino also has no front incisor teeth, so it relies heavily on its lips to bring food to its mouth. By contrast, the white rhino, the other African species, has a long, flat upper lip that is designed more for grazing on grasses. The black rhino can be compared to a tree pruner and the white rhino to a lawnmower. The upper lips of the 3 Asian rhino species are also prehensile to some degree, and other mammals with prehensile lips include bears, giraffes, horses, llamas, moose, and manatees. Black, white, and Sumatran rhinos have 2 horns. Javan and greater one-horned rhinos have 1 horn. The Sumatran rhino, although it has 2 horns, is not at all closely related to Africa's black or white rhinos. It is the oldest of the living rhinos, having appeared nearly 15 million years ago. World Rhino Day is celebrated on September 22nd. And adult white rhino can produce as much as 50 pounds of dung per day. That's a lot of poo. And it's the result of rhinos having to consume large amounts of plant material to obtain proper nutrition. Nuances in the smell of dung can tell a rhino a lot about others in the area. Each rhino's smell is unique and identifies its owner. The dung of a young rhino smells different than that of an adult. A male's dung smells different than a female's, and the dung of a female in estrus gives off a different odor than that of a non-reproductive female. What are rhino feet called? Hooved feet. Rhinoceroses have 3 toes on each foot. Each toe is encased in a hard shell called a hooflid. Black and white rhinos have 3 toes, and this makes their spoor easy to differentiate from the other large-footed species. Rhinos have an elongate skull, which is elevated posteriorly. They have a small brain case, and the nasal bones project forward freely and may extend beyond and above the premaxillae. The surface of the nasals, where the horns sit, is roughened. There's a strongly developed occipital crest. A rhino's horn is not attached to its skull. It is actually a compacted mass of hairs that continues to grow throughout the animal's lifetime, just like our own hair and nails. The longest horn on record belonged to a white rhino and measured just under 60 inches, 5 feet. Animal skulls can tell us many things about creatures and how they once survived in their natural environment. A few relatively simple observations of an animal skull can tell us what the animal ate, whether the animal was predator or prey, and which senses were most important to the animal's survival. Please subscribe to my channel